it's your girl KV, and I am here for the first time for Love After Lockup. I finally watched these first two episodes, getting caught up off of all my TV from coming from Beyonce Renaissance, y'all. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to start getting these reviews out like Sunday, Monday, since I can watch this like Friday night, Saturday morning, and then Love and Marriage Huntsville like Saturday, Sunday. So Sunday morning, Monday morning, gonna start having these reviews. Both of them just out then, getting done at the same time. So this Love After Lockup, it's been a lot of like, the episodes from Love During Lockup, because I didn't review that. So I'll be kind of touching base back to the other series just for context, because that's how my mind works. Even though if y'all been watching the whole time, that's just how my mind works. So I'm gonna do it by couples. We'll do episode by episode, but it's gonna be by couples. So Love After Lockup, episode 1, season. I don't even know what season this is, 5 or 7 or something like that. One of those. So we're gonna start with Brittany and Key Rock. So Brittany and Key Rock, they are both in their early 20s, and they were locked up together, which like on Love During Lockup, when she was talking to the people about it, like, how was your boyfriend locked up with you? Well, Key Rock is a trans man. So since he was born a woman, he still went to the women's prison. So, like I said, they are both in their early 20s. And the part that got me from Love During Lockup is the fact that they want kids. Mind you, they like 24, 23, something like that. But they want kids. Key Rock initially wanted to carry the baby. They wanted to use Brittany's eggs and put them in. No, they wanted to use Key Rock's eggs and put them in Brittany for her to carry, because she only had, it was either one fallopian tube or one ovary, one or the other. So Key Rock had called in while she was in the appointment, and he found out that he would have to come off his testosterone to do this. And they were like, you might develop breasts, you might, your voice is going to change, and you're going to kind of go back to being a woman, because you're going to have to be on these hormones to get your body to produce all these eggs. And Key Rock was not with it, y'all. And, I can't blame him, because it's like, you did all of this to be who you are, and then you find out you might have to revert back. That's a lot to try to deal with, and we kind of see why that might be a problem later on. So he's getting out, and Brittany's on the phone with her dad, and her dad is very like, we'll see if I can make it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. We're gonna see. And she talks about how her mom actually cried when she found out that she was dating a trans man from prison. Like, her mama just was not with it. They wanted her to go to college and, be the clean cut girl that, most parents want their child to be. But she didn't do none of that. She ended up in jail. So her family is really not all of that supportive. Now, on the flip side, his family is very supportive of who he is. And Brittany actually stays with Key Rock's family. That was always a little weird to me, but hey, whatever works. Love During Lockup, we didn't meet the mama. We just saw the brothers, and they were doing the most like, well, she's supposed to be getting off work. I see the bars online, and they say the bar closes at 12, but she don't be getting home till 2 o'clock. Okay, it's still cleaning duties. It's still certain things people got to do once you close. And then he had his friend EB stalking her and stuff. It was just a big old mess. So we're going to see where that goes on Love After Lockup. So her and his mom, Brittany and Key Rock's mom, are very close. She was on the phone with his mom, and his mom kind of made a joke like, oh, I think I'm going to wear something sexy. At first I was just kind of like, say what now? Okay. But then later on, like, meeting the mom, you could tell like it was a joke. She was just messing with Brittany. Like, okay, I ain't gonna upstage you, girl. I ain't gonna upstage you. I just wear something regular. I can wear the Chanel. That's just, I'm gonna wear the Chanel. So he gets out, and Key Rock is cute, y'all. Key Rock real cute. I was like, hey, Key Rock, how you doing? Okay. And so he gets out, and she's like, put that box down. You can get that box later. Come get to me now. So he put the box down and run across the street. They hug and kiss and stuff. He goes back and gets his box later. So apparently he's like a rapper. Apparently he's like a rapper. So she was like, rap something for me. And when he rapped, it was more so like a spoken word type of rap. But it was decent nonetheless, can't complain. It wasn't like he was whack or nothing. So they had their little moment. So they get to the house because they having like his little coming home party. And the mom, she like has this scarf on and she just kind of keeping her mouth covered. And I'm like, what's wrong? Does she got no teeth or like what's happening? Well, we find out that the mom had been going through cancer treatments for breast cancer. And the treatments have been causing like some discoloration, so she was just kind of like ashamed to be on camera, but she looked fine. It was really a touching moment, and Key Rock was talking about how he felt so guilty that he wasn't able to be there to support his mom and all of that, and it was just really a touching scene. A really touching scene, and they talked about how the breast cancer that the mom had is genetic. Everybody in the family had it, and I'm wondering if that has some bearings on Key Rock not wanting to take hormones to get the egg release, because it's like you will grow breast and the chance of you getting that breast cancer might increase since it's already, you're already predisposed to it. So that had me like, oh wow, it's a lot to think about. It be a lot going on in people mindset and reasons why they do things. So that was very interesting to find out. And his mom just, was staring at him, and she was just so accepting of him. She was like, you are my son. You are my son. You were born that way. And she was like, oh, you so handsome. You so handsome. She was just so accepting of Key Rock being a trans man, because this was her first time seeing him in the flesh. I believe they had like just video calls or whatever while he was, while he was in the process. And so this was her first time seeing him in the flesh as a trans man, and she was proud. She was really proud that he took the steps to do what meant something to him. So it was a really touching scene. So next we see, who we see next? Brittany and Andy, y'all. Andy is an ex-cop who had married a lady who ended up on drugs, and he got custody of the kids. But then once he got custody of the kids, he said he had to change jobs from policing to trucking, which was wild to me, because it's like, why could you not be a police with your kids? At least you have a steady shift, when you go on to work. Even if it is overnight, like, get your seniority to get your shift moved and all this stuff, versus trucking where you gone for days at a time. You on the road and can't get to your kids and stuff. That was crazy to me. But they don't necessarily go into all of that in love during Lockup. So currently, Andy is with his son. I can't remember the son's name. Andy is with his son, and the son is telling him, set the stuff on the bed nice, put the phone in the bed and everything. Just set it up real nice for her. He was giving her some money and love during Lockup. The brother, the son had called his sister and was just like, yeah, dad giving her money and dad doing this and dad doing that. And they were like, what? It was funny because he was acting like it was all cool in front of the dad, but then going right to call the sister to be like, oh, this man tripping, girl, basically. So he has been divorced twice. And like I said, one was with the druggy lady. And so they were like, so why would you go for somebody who is in jail with drug charges? And he was just like, oh, the heart wants what it wants, basically. So they're meeting up with Gracie, who is Brittany's oldest daughter. And Gracie and his son are like around the same age, so I guess he brought the son to kind of be a buffer and to hang out with him while Gracie and Brittany kind of have their time and their moments. So Andy, his son, and her daughter Gracie are all standing outside waiting on her release. And they end up being out there like 3, 4 hours or something, y'all. And they were just standing there. I'm like, get back in the car with the AC until you see them being released. It was just kind of weird to me. I'm like, did production make them stand outside all that time? So that's how that happened. So she finally gets out, and they have these balloons to release since she is released. And I'm looking at the balloons like, these balloons ain't going nowhere, y'all. Y'all ain't putting no helium in these balloons. And I was right, because when they let go of the balloons, they just drop right down to the ground. And I was cracking up because I'm like, they special. They special. So next up, we got Asante and Renika. And rest in peace to Asante. I think at the when the final episode of Love During Lockup aired, when I had went on Twitter looking at the hashtag and stuff to see like the funny tweets, I saw that Asante had passed away. They said that he was in allegedly he was in a high speed chase with the police. He was running from the police, got into a car wreck, hit a truck. Everybody else in the truck, they were fine. It was like some teenagers. They were fine. Nobody lost their life on that end. But he lost his life from the alleged high speed chase. So rest in peace to Asante. They put on there that this season was filmed prior to his death. And yeah, so yeah, that happened. So Renika is real basic, y'all. Backstory from Love During Lockup. This chick lives in, I can't remember where she lived. Was it Kentucky? I think it was like Kentucky. She was in Kentucky. They showed like a clip of her because she a rapper. Her name Diva. She a rapper and she had a show, and she was kind of treating it as her going away party since she was moving down to Georgia to be with Asante. And her family and everything, like when they would talk to her prior to, they were just kind of like, oh, okay, if that's what you want to do, like, okay, all right, girl, this your life. But once they got to the show and they started, getting that liquor in them, they was just like, girl, you stupid. You stupid for going all the way out there for some man that you ain't never met, and you don't know what time he gonna be on, and you taking your kids. The mom was like, you taking my grandkids, you taking my nieces from me. The family was just mad. She ends up putting them out of the venue, getting security to put them out, but they came right back in, y'all. But she was mad at them and her daughters. And this be my thing, y'all. The women that have kids, especially daughters, that be so quick to uproot their life, to move to another state for a man fresh out of jail to come live in this house with you and your daughters. It is very sick to me. It never sits well with me. Y'all don't even be knowing these men outside of prison visits, if that. So that's the part that kind of really annoyed me about Renika, is that her daughters, they was uneasy about this. They did not want to go down there. So she talked about how she ended up spending $4,000 to move. She got a homegirl down there in Georgia though, so the homegirl was watching the daughters for a few days while she was getting Asante out of jail and getting settled with him. So she tells him initially, I don't have no money for your bail, so because he had got released from one prison but had to go to another, but could just bail out from there. It was $3,000. She was like, well, I ain't got no $3,000. You got somebody that's giving you this $3,000? Because I ain't got it. He's like, yeah, I got somebody giving me the $3K. You ain't got to worry about that. That ain't no problem. Well, when it gets down to it, it was like all this run around. She thought that he had ghosted her because when she tried to call him, the phone was off, yada, yada, yada. Turns out like he just ended up getting the phone cut off because he couldn't have it going to the next jail. They would have found it on him, transporting. So we get current day to this show, Love After Lockup. And she's at the bail bonds place, and she she's talking to him, and he's like, well, my auntie, the person that's supposed to have $3,000, they don't have all the money. They only had like $1,100, so she got to come up with like $1,800 or so, because it was like $1,190 that they had. So she got to come up with $1,800 to finish his bail off. This girl, racing down to the Walmart to get a money order, all this stuff like that. She says that she had to take that from her kids' college fund. How basic of you to be using your kids' college money to bail a man out that you don't even know in person. You start dating this man while he was in jail. You've only seen him through jail visits. And I don't even know if she's seen him in person in jail visits or it's just been video calls. But you don't know this man. So she gets the money, pays it to the bail bonds, and they're like, all right, it'll be like an hour or so before he gets released. So she calls the person, which is supposed to be his auntie. She calls the person who had gave the $1,100 for the bond, thinking that it's his auntie, to update her. She's like, yeah, I just paid the bill and this and the third. This happened, yeah. So now I'm just waiting on him to be released. And she's like, so you his auntie, right? And the girl was like, nah, I'm not his auntie. I'm his girlfriend. Excuse me, B? Excuse me? Renika just acts like she don't hear this information and she ain't gonna bring it up. She's just gonna be like, whatever, we'll talk about it later. I done did all this. Basically, she gonna get the deed that she done paid for at the very least before she start, causing problems and whatnot. How basic of you. You cute enough to go find somebody in the free world, my dear. So she crying and doing all this. Just, it was so many theatrics. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know him. How you miss him like you knew him out of there? You don't even know him. You don't know him. And she tells him, I got 3 personalities. It's Diva, it's Renika, and it's Nutty. Like, you don't want to see Nutty. He's like, nah, I want Renika. Like, I don't want to see Nutty neither. So the auntie slash girlfriend ends up calling while they in the car together going to her house. And she's like, put it on speakerphone. Put it on speakerphone. And he puts it on speakerphone, and the girlfriend is just basically, I think she's just talking about, she got him a new phone and stuff like that. And Renika, bow, just kind of hitting him like, you better put it on speakerphone. Like, let me hear what it is you talking about. Just real basic, y'all. Real basic. And they gone to the house. No real argument or problems with that. And he in the confessional like, I don't know how y'all got that mixed up. No, that's my auntie. That's my auntie. Okay. So next we have a brand new couple that I don't think we've seen on Love During Lockup at all. Anthony and Sheree, another black couple. So this person I can, give a little leeway to because at least she knew him prior to prison. So they went to high school together. They met at 14 and dated for a while, but he cheated, so she broke up with him. So now they're in their mid 30s and he's locked up. They reconnected. They're together now. So she gets home and apparently his mama, got a key to her apartment. That was so crazy to me because no, why would your mama have a key to my apartment and you in jail? And they like she gotta come over here and check on you because you sickly. Like, that really blew me, y'all. So she get there and she's like, why are you cooking in my kitchen? Why are you cooking in my kitchen? And like the mom is just saying, he needs somebody that's gonna stay on top of him and make sure that he keep the straight and narrow and he don't be out here wilding and all of that. So she tell him, he gonna be getting out soon, so don't be using that key to come over here and try to cook breakfast and all of that. Like, don't be misusing your key. Clearly, she already misusing that key, girl. Go ahead, get your key back or change them locks because mama is gonna be a problem. So she's talking about how she got $500. He had her get $500 of his money out because when he get out, he want to throw it on her like she a stripper. They want to, do a little role play and all of that. So she's talking about his coming home party, and she talks about how she invited her baby daddy to his release party. And she did that because the baby daddy would be teasing her like, "Girl, your man in jail. What you gonna do? Oh, you can't even see your man. He in jail." Da, da, da. So this is her nanny boo boo. He out now by inviting the baby daddy to Anthony's release party. Such bird behavior, y'all. Such bird behavior. So they were supposed to be married. They were supposed to be getting married, and then to her surprise, she had found out that he was still legally married to his ex. So to save face, this girl got a fake marriage certificate made to show people that they are indeed married. More bird behavior. So next we got who we got next? There's also a couple, Chelsea and Mikey. She's deaf. We saw her on Love during like a couple of seasons ago. Not this last season, I don't think, but a couple of seasons ago we saw them, but they weren't on this episode. And the last couple to talk about is Melissa and Louie. We also saw them on A Love During Lockup. I don't know if it was this last one or the one before that, but we've seen them before. Um, they also knew each other from high school 20 years ago. And so she reconnected with him on the internet, and they've been dating while he's been in jail. So she's having dinner with her family, her dad, and two of her sisters. One of her sisters got white dreads. One of her sisters got white dreads. I mean, the one thing I can say is at least they look neat. It wasn't like freeform, matted up, and looking all crazy. It looked like, she be getting her dreads touched up and stuff. So I guess, y'all. So he's locked up in Georgia, but she wants him to come to Jersey where she lives at. But the mama is not having that. His mama, Louis' mama's name is Donna. Donna does not like Melissa. She thinks she crazy. She is not for none of that. She said he is not moving to Jersey. He gonna be with his mama. He been locked up for 10 years. I'm getting my baby back. I don't care what you got planned. He's coming home with me. So she's talking about it to the family and everything, and she mentions that he don't have no teeth because of drugs. I guess, meth or cocaine or something be rotting his teeth out. So he had to get his teeth taken out, and he just got I guess like dentures or whatever. And her daddy is a clown. Her daddy pulled his dentures out of his mouth and said, "This what you gonna be kissing? You ready for that?" Her daddy is a clown, y'all. So I already know her daddy is probably gonna provide some laughs here and there because he was clowning at that table. So next, they talk about how Melissa and Donna, his mom, are gonna go down to get him, and they just kind of double down on how Donna does not like Melissa. Donna gives "my son is my man" vibes. That's what I get from her. She gets the like "my son is my whole world" vibes. She don't got nobody outside of him, so she's been patiently waiting for her son to get home so that so she can have this unnatural attachment to him. So that's episode 1. Episode 2, um, we don't see Brittany and Key Rock this episode. So Brittany and Andy. Brittany's daughter Gracie is annoyed. Like she comes in the room while they trying to no, before they even get to the room, she is just super annoyed. And so it's Brittany's son's birthday. So Andy and his son bake the cake for the birthday, and they're getting ready to go to the birthday party. So they pick her up from jail, go to the hotel to get ready, and gotta drive 2 hours to where the birthday party is. So while they're entering the hotel, Brittany's like, "I want to jump in the pool. Let's go jump in the pool." So they go jump in the pool. So just like a little fun, oh my gosh, I'm free moment. So Brittany, and Andy go to the room to get changed, to get ready for the birthday party, and Gracie and his son, I cannot remember his son's name, they just kind of stand back in the lobby to wait for them. And Gracie comes to the room and she just starts complaining that she just wants it to be them, and she's frustrated and all that stuff like that. And Brittany is like, it's your brother's birthday. We have to go to your brother's birthday party. Like, I've been without you guys for 2 years now. Like, you know we have to go to this party. Like, basically, like, relax. Like, I know you might be frustrated. Gracie is like, I didn't sleep last night because I was excited for you to be released, and then we had to stand outside in the heat for 3 hours. And Gracie was very frustrated, and she was being a tad bit selfish. But I mean, you ain't had your mama in 2 years, and you got all this change happening at once. Some strange man is here with his son, waiting for your mama to spend time with him. So it was just a lot. Gracie was overwhelmed, but she was definitely giving like little bratty, little selfish vibes. But hey, I'm not saying she was wrong. This was a lot to deal with. So she comes in the room, they go into the bathroom, and this is when they having this conversation. And Andy is like, you guys need to cut. I know you're trying to hear their conversation and everything. He pulled a black china. Cut the cameras. Dead ass. So they cut the cameras. And Gracie's like, I'm just tired. Like, this is a lot for me. So Brittany talks about when she was on drugs, the kids had to go into foster care. And I guess they were at least fortunate enough to all be together. But with that, Gracie had to be the other three kids' mother figure. So there was a lot on her. But it wasn't very long that they stayed in foster care, because once the dad found out what was happening, he got custody of the kids. Because, all the kids are by the same man. I think she was married. So they drive, they kind of have their talk. And Gracie, she's like, okay, I feel better after I've cried. She just had to get it out. She was overwhelmed. There was a lot going on. So now they're getting ready to go to the birthday party. Brittany rides with Gracie, and Andy and his son are in the car together. So Gracie asks Brittany while they're on their way there, are you going to let him meet the kids? And you could tell she kind of didn't necessarily put that much thought into it, because I guess she was just going to let him come to the party or whatever. So when they get there, she tells him, wait outside. I don't, we're going to go in by ourselves. I want you to wait outside. And y'all, I think this is jacked up simply because if this was how you was going to do, you could have let him and his son stay at the hotel and go swimming and stuff until the party was over, and then he come out there and be with y'all. You had him rushing and driving and doing all this just for you not to let him to the party. It was very like, okay, you don't be thinking stuff through. You don't be thinking stuff through. So she's probably going to annoy me on that front. So that's how they wrap up. Next we see Asante and Renika. So y'all, at the end of episode 1, after Asante and Renika get home, they, get in there and have a little Mr. Nasty time, y'all. They had a Mr. Nasty time. And the camera, I guess they still had their mics on. So you can hear the audio, but they just showing her house. They just showing the window. You can't, they're not in the house. Production, it is. And then they flash on the screen 4 hours later, and they show Asante sneaking out the house, y'all. So Asante done left in the middle of the night, and a car comes, picks him up, drives off. I'm sure it was Auntie. So Renika wake up and she's like in the house, Asante, looking for Asante. She go outside, looking around, going around the house, looking around, and realize this man is gone, baby. So she is pissed. It's like they flashing the time. It's like 7 p.m. by the time she calls her friend to vent about him not being there. And the friend is like, girl, I told you something like this could happen. You don't know that man, this and the third. But I still pull up. If you want to go pull up, if you want to pull up on him, I'm ready, She was like, I got this PI that can help track him down. We can pull up. So they go out to eat, where they go meet the PI. They go out, in a public place. And she's showing her friend Ray the text exchange between her and Auntie/girlfriend. And just how weird the exchange was. So next, the PI gets there, and he gets right to business. He's asking her, okay, what's his number? It's the old number, this the new number. Okay, well, 470 is a new area code to the Atlanta metro area. Is usually sometimes associated with people who just kind of get little burner phones that they gonna throw away after a couple of months. So there's that. So she gives him Auntie's phone number. He looks it up. He's like, "Oh yeah, her name is such and such and such. She's a 40-year-old, 44-year-old woman." So they like, "Oh, that's why she call they calling. That's why Asante has been calling her his auntie because she's older. That's his cougar bitch." So that cracked me up. So he, like I said, he searches the number, gets the lady's information. He's like, "Okay, it's connected to the address at a Sonesta Suites. Do you want me to call? Do you want me to call Sonesta Suites, or do you want me to call her directly? Call her directly." So they call her directly. They call her directly, and Asante picks up the phone. Crazy, right? Crazy. Hold on, y'all. And Asante picks up the phone. So next we see Anthony and Sheree. So their scene opens up with Sheree doing a little TikTok dance with her son. And when they finish, she's like, "Okay, send it to Anthony." And he's like, "Look, look, I got him saved as Pops. I got him saved as Pops." Which confused me because it's like, ain't your real daddy in the picture? How your real daddy feel about him being called Pops? Is your real daddy present like that in your life? It was, please don't. So his real daddy, how his, ignore y'all. It's my child. So I was confused, like, how does her son like have this connection like he do? And then they show us pictures where the both of them had visited Anthony in jail, and they hugged up like a family. Like Anthony see that as his son as well, but he's like he feel like the dad don't do how he should do because she got me in her life now, and I think he need to step up a little more and do more still. So she's telling the son that she invited his daddy to the release party, and the son is like, "I think Anthony's gonna be mad." Like, why are you inviting daddy to the release party? The son's like, "I want everybody to get along. I want us to be one big happy family." He got his real dad, but he still see Anthony as his pops, and that's what time. That's what time he on. He don't want no mess. He 10 years old, y'all. He looks very mature, and he's just very like he's there, and it was very cute. Next, we have Chelsea and Mikey. Like I said, Chelsea is the one who is deaf. And so she's talking about how Mikey had learned sign language for her because she's deaf, and that's what won her over. Then we also find out that he is actually hearing impaired himself. So she's talking to her friend. She took her son to like wrestling practice or something. So her and a friend to the side talking. And she's telling the friend she's not necessarily ready to have sex. Maybe like 4, 6 months she'll be ready. So he paroles to his sister's house, and that's for 3 years. So she's worried that he won't be able to come home to her. So
Doing better. Thank you so much for asking. How's everything going?
I be trying to do this in one take because it takes too long to loop everything together to try to get it together to put it here. Excuse all of that. Hubby got a business call. Anyway, so Chelsea talks about how her mom recently passed away, and her and the mom initially had a bumpy start to their relationship, but they ended up getting closer as she got older. And because her dad did not approve, her dad was like, "This is the stupidest thing you ever done." Back when she was on Love during Lockup, her dad didn't approve, and that basically drove her closer to her mom. But her mom had passed away recently. And she said Mikey's mom had passed away 6 weeks after her mom did. So they kind of grew even closer together because of that. So Mikey and Chelsea, and he's getting out soon too, clearly, because this is love after lockup. And lastly, we got Melissa and Louie. So Donna, Louie's mom, comes out the house with a hat that says "Super Bitch," and we're like, at least you own it. She does not like Melissa at all, and so they get in the car to go get Louie, and they're basically fussing back and forth because Louie was in the halfway house and ended up getting sent back to jail for 30 more days. Donna blamed Melissa because she's like, you're the one that snuck up there to, go see him from afar, because she was like, say, like at the top of the hill, you could see down on where the halfway house was when he was at work or whatever. So Donna was like, you the one that went to go see him while you knew that you weren't supposed to be doing that. And Melissa is like, you the one that got him the phone that he got caught with. So don't try to blame this on me. This ain't 100% on me, girl. He got caught with that phone, and that's technically why he got sent back to jail. So that's your fault. So I'm laughing about that. So they get to the gas station, and Melissa snitching on Donna. She calls Louie and tells Louie that your mom's being mean to me, this, that, and the third. Louie's like, F her. F her. You don't have to take her mess. Like, F her. And then when they get in the car, Melissa's dad, ends up calling and basically checks Donna like, why are you being mean to her? You being mean to her? What's going on? She tell me that you being mean to her. So she got an attitude, and she's still being mean and bossing her around and all that stuff like that. But Donna has a moment where she gets super emotional and she's crying, and she's just very excited for Louie to get out because it's been 10 years. So, of course, you're excited for your sons to get out. So they get to the hotel, and she's like, all right, we got to leave here at 5:30 promptly to get out there. And when they get ready to leave in the morning, she's looking at her like, aren't you going to be cold? Because she got a coat on, but her legs out. She's like, aren't you going to be cold? And she's like, oh, I'll be fine. It'll warm up. And later on, she was like, I know you don't have that dumb trilling outfit on again. And she did. She definitely had that little cheerleading outfit on again. So Louie gets released, and they're standing outside, and she does this little cheer, you're coming home with me, or whatever. And the mom is like, no, he's coming home with me. You're going home with me. And Louie is like, nah, I want to go to the hotel. He in the confession like, it's been 10 years since I've had sex. Like, I'm trying to go to the hotel. I ain't trying to go home with my mama. Like, nah, bro. Louie don't be here for his mama mess. His mama be like this on her own. That's the funny part about it. So it'll be interesting to see them and how all of this unfolds, because I'm sure he's gonna have to get parole to the mama house even for a little bit before he is able to go with Melissa, if he's even able to go with Melissa, because she's way in freaking Jersey, y'all. So that is the first 2 episodes of Love After Lockup. Like I said, I'll be back Sunday or Monday with episode 3. I know that comes on tomorrow. I think that's tomorrow. All right, you all. Bang, let me relieve my husband of baby duty so he can have this meeting while he busting up in here like he crazy trying to get his headphones and stuff. All right, bye.